Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Hello, good morning, good morning. Yeah, we got Goldie currently playing out the distribution play right here. It's up about 37 pips. Daily time frame is up 1.11%. Yeah, that's the kind of the one I wanted to take, but start stream here at 3 a.m. so this is already in play. It broke about 4 minutes before stream started. But I will still wait. Like I think today is a better day because if you look at the daily, there's a lot more volume there. So it should be good for some continuation plays to the upside. Oh yeah, and we have price come down yesterday over here as well. It finally broke out of that accumulation that we were talking about. So that was a range that we got stuck in for a minute. And then price finally started breaking away from it and filled this range here on the left hand side beautifully. That was a move, and it looks like it was mainly sells. And daily time frame came down. I was still expecting us to keep going even towards like 3,900. That was my target. 3,900. Looks like we just tapped around a 3,929. Wait, can we still see further downside? No, I think it was just about like 3,929. Had a little bit of room there to like 3,900, but you know, still pretty nice move. And today we're kind of having like a bullish day, and it could be because of the fact that we're just at the bottom of the range right now. So since we just like tapped below here, this could be the reason as to why that daily candle is just bullish. But it may be like a short-term bullish move. I don't think it's long-term. I think it's just like some kind of a pullback before we get the sell continuations, most probably tomorrow. Wait, today's ADP, isn't it? Yeah, we got Wednesday today. It is ADP. Can you see the screen? Oh yeah, the screen is on. Just confirm if y'all can see the screen. You wanna see this thing dump? Let me try share the screen again then. Let's see. Boom, boom. Yeah, it should be good. How's it? On Discord. Let's see. On U.S. Supreme Court hearings on Trump tariff 10 a.m. NY session, no ruling, but judge questions will give big indication of pending decision. Could be crazy. Oh, let's see what's going on. Let's go over here. Wednesday. Oh, damn. We have Trump speaking later. Got Trump speaking, and we got obviously ADP at 8:15, 50 minutes into NY. ISM services as well. That's gonna be at 10 a.m. and Trump speaks. So let's see if let's see what happens. You know, that could be an indication as to even why price is moving up. But I still think technically it may just be because we tapped into like a daily support region right down over here. So we're gonna keep monitoring this. Hey, what's up, Tall Turd? Good morning. So breaking out from like pretty early ranges down over here. Boom. Small one here. Continuation. Nothing here. Nothing there. Up 1.18% now and still waiting on some sort of a buy confirmation. Let's see how that comes in. Might be busy today, guys. I don't know like how it's gonna be with distractions, but got a few distractions that are gonna be coming in later. Hopefully not when executing. Man, look at this. 60 freaking pips in 1 minute. Holy, why are you running?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Where you going to, Goldie? 60 damn pips. Let's go. Where did it even break from? What's the like accumulation trigger here? What triggered it? I don't see anything. 15 minutes clean. 15 clean range. Up towards like 39.92. I don't see really anything. Normally when we get a reaction like that, it's breaking out of like some kind of accumulation, but there's nothing there. Unless it's just a continuation from profits from earlier on. Sometimes that happens too. When something's currently in play, you get like these pretty strong spikes. Man, this is crazy. I feel like it's been a minute since we've seen that. Sell on 38.50. $38.50. What do you mean 38.50? It's all the way down over here. How can you sell 38.50 if it's all the way down here? Sheesh. C-Trader is looking crazy right now. Oh. Damn. I wish you could have gotten something like a bit sooner. Would have been nicer. Because this thing is just ripped. Boom, boom, boom. It would be nice to see a pullback. I think that's what I would like to see, is price pull back a bit and then set up for a continuation. But if we just keep moving up like this, entry and then continuation, it could work out. You know, we've seen Goldie hit like 2% on the dailies before. We're up 1.38 right now. It could still play out. Just would not be the nicest thing, you know, because you love to see some kind of a pullback, especially when you're looking for continuations. You want to see those pullbacks. As you can see, that's like this kind of like the trenches, right? We kind of like being inside the valleys. So you see this V-shaped values, little W pattern over here. Like ideally be inside these values. You know, it feels a lot more safer when price pulls down like this and then sets up for a buy. Because you can see the range that you have left, you know, so you're kind of like in a dip. That's the idea, that you're going to be in a dip. But when it's just moving up like this, you gotta have some serious conviction that price is going to keep moving up. But you know, we do have the ADP today. Could be a pricing in of ADP. It might be anticipating some numbers over there, which is going to lead more towards a hopeful rate cut on the USD, since we are just waiting for the ADP NFP numbers now. Price is also sitting in a low volume node, which is usually very reactive. Hey, good morning, streamer. I will get the knives there. See what the higher time frames look like. Clean range, 30 hourly clean range, mopping up this area over here. I guess if you're looking at the higher time frames, we are kind of like in a dip, considering if you're just looking from the hourly, I guess. But you know, we like to trade the lower time frames. Distribution right now. Yeah, still gotta sit on your hands. Read the newspaper here. Let's see what's saying. Gold rebounds from near 1 week low on bargain hunting ahead of US jobs data. Let's see. Gold prices rose Wednesday as bargain hunters stepped in after bullion dropped to a near 1 week low on precious session, while focus was also on the US private payroll data. It's just bargain buying and broader risk of sentiment across financial markets supporting safe haven demand for gold. Gold is being pressured by waning expectations of another rate cut this year. It might see further pressure down 3,900. Oh, nice. This was my target for yesterday. If the ADP data is on the higher side. The US Federal Reserve cut interest rates last week, and Jerome Powell signaled it might be the last reduction in borrowing costs for the year. Let's see. Market participants now see 69% rate in December rate cut. Let's see, with the US government shutdown likely to become the longest ever, halting the release of government data, investors are focusing on non-official economic reports, including the ADP due later today. Oh, these are non-official. Yeah, because the ADP is like preliminary to the NFP, isn't it? Non-yielding golds tend to do well in low interest rate environment. During okay. Yeah, this government shutdowns, locking down everything. We can't even get new satellite images from NASA anymore about, like, you know, 3i Atlas. Can't even get those because of this government shutdown. Thing is passing the sun right now. Can't get those to the public. Take a little trade. Profits should take your headache away, Woods. Oh. Can you check trades taken, please? Yeah, might be getting the pullback here now. The fib you taught me. It's next level, man. Thank you. God bless with your stream. Welcome, Sam. Let's go. That was a crash course on the fib. Definitely more that we could tune into this. How to use the fibs. But yeah, you know what? Like, as long as you're using the fib like in a trending environment, then that's what a Fibonacci is. You know, that's what you want it to be. Just remember, all you're doing is catching the retracement, right? You draw a fib from where the push started to where the retracement starts into the golden zone. That's it. And the rest of it is confluence. So if you got like a break and a retest area right over here with structure, looks pretty good. Lines up with the break golden zone area. It's really nice when you get those confluences line up like that. But yeah, that's all that fib is. Every time you create a new high, pull back from where the push started, retracement into the golden zone to continue. So you only got to look for these markets. So I think actually that indicator would be nice to use. Show you when the daily is bullish over there. Even like right now, since it's like pushing up, creating a new higher high. So it's like, how could you catch this retracement if you're looking for a retracement on gold? You know, so you can look at maybe the 15 minute. Let's try the 15 minute. Yeah, it could be like 15. Get a new 15-minute candlestick open. Could be a 5-minute fib from here though, because this is where the push started. And the candlestick is gonna close. So create a new higher high right over here. This is where the push started. It's quite important to get where the push started, because if you're looking at the 15, the push started down here. The 5-minute, the push started right over here to where the new high is formed into the golden zone to keep going up. Bullish. Yeah, I think that's it. That's it. When the trend is your friend, then it should work out for you. Let's take this off here. Might be cooking something up soon as well. Maybe a break in continuation above these highs right here. The trend is your buddy. The trend is always your friend, because it can be forgiving if you take a bad trade. Yeah, because you take a bad trade, sometimes, you know, the market's just going to say, we're moving up there anyway, so no worries, buddy. This is on me. But when you're going against the trend, like if you take a sell over here and it's a bad trade, damn. Because, you know, this morning I took a trade. I took a buy. Was it an A+ setup? It could have been better. But the trend was my friend. Trend was my friend until it bends. And we're still moving up bullish. So, you know, maybe we can get a continuation here as well. But it definitely need a bit more structure, that's for sure. This is just like, you know, you gotta visualize. You're always like visualizing what you want to see, right? So even before it's printed, I already have in my head exactly what I want to see this candle sprint next. And all I gotta do now is just sit on my hands. And it might even come sooner. It might come here, because I'm kind of like preempting. You know, when you play chess, you always gotta think like, what move can he play? You know, there's more than just one move. You know, he could play this move over here, he could play this move over here, or he could just come down and set something entirely different. Or like anything can literally happen to invalidate a trade. But we're just kind of looking at what we want to see now. So let's see. The big time frame is still bearish, brother. Yeah, it's still bearish. Like if you look at the market, right? It's like space. You know, in space, there's no like up or down. So it's all like, it's all subjective. You know, so it's like, yeah, sure, the market is bearish and it is bullish at the same time. And it's always like that. It's never one time that the market is just one thing. It's always bullish and bearish at the same time. So just like in space, you know, your brain, it likes to make sense of things. You know, so you kind of want to see something like upright or, yeah, basically. So, you know, just do that. Because, you know, otherwise you're going to get analysis paralysis. You're going to get dizzy out there. Like, oh, damn. Am I upside down or am I up? Hey, guten Morgen, Mr. Rashid. Yeah, so let's see. A stronger pullback would be nice. I would not mind a stronger pullback, to be honest. Like candlestick come down a bit more and then boom. Hopefully get a bomber clut. I think you'd have a better chance of a bomber clut if it did come down though, to be fair. To be fair, mate. Yeah, I see. Oh, that's what I'm going for. Hey, Sebastian, thank you for the sub. How amazing was it just to be patient yesterday? Because catching those sells on gold or whatever would have been very difficult. You all see the price action yesterday on gold? How many times it was faking out? All right, Goldie. I want to see if price can pull down first. This is about the time that somebody should call me or something should happen to distract me from the trade. Yeah, if it breaks those highs, I'm going to get stuck in. It's nice that it's pulling down more. I really don't mind to pull down more. Create a support right there. Yep, candlestick's about to close. We're going to need a support to be formed. See if candlestick can now start moving up. So you see we're visualizing what we want to see. If it doesn't give it to us, then, you know, there's going to be nothing over here. Maybe candlestick could have rejected and then start pulling up like this. Trigger us in to keep moving up bullish. Oh, starting to push quite heavy though. It might. It looks like it's gonna change the setup there. Might change the setup. Might need to wait a bit longer. Gold sell 39.70. Yeah, I mean, like, I do see there's a sell. There's kind of like a sell that's in play right now. There's a sell in play right now, but I'm looking for the buys. Oh, man, look at that. What a pullback. Let's see. Can we still salvage this little PA? Okay. Yeah, we needed some kind of like skyrocketing here. Got a liquidity grab confluence as well on the 5-minute time frame. If this thing pulls up, you see what the 5-minute would be doing? It would be sweeping out these lows. Right over here is liquidity grab confluence to re-break the highs to keep moving up with the daily trend, which is bullish at this moment. Oh, come on, Goldie. Respect that support. Let's keep ripping up. Because it's just triggered like sellers in here. So we could also have like stop losses above that region up there. Oh, is it still pushing? Man, took out these lows now. This is a sell, bro. Leg in, leg out, and sell. All right, E. Let's see. At least you say it now, not after the fact. I'll wait for this candle here to close. It's doing some restructuring of those stop loss area. Doing a little renovations down there. All right, let's go, Goldie. Because it's like pulling out that liquidity. It's pulling it. Price action has been crap this week. I agree. It's not been the easiest week. That's why I'm trying to limit the amount of trades that I'm taking. All right. So it's attempted that liquidity grab twice now. We just got a 5-minute close below support there, but with a strong bottom wick. Came down once, twice. See how this looks. Move this. If you can get like some bullish candle closes, that would be nice. I want to see too many bearish closes. I don't see this as a fake out on the 5-minute. Would be nice, but we did get a candlestick close below support over here. You know, as long as we don't break those lows, then price can fake these sellers out over here. You see, this can take out these highs. Usually a wick should respect those highs if price is to continue moving down, correct? It shouldn't like break above those highs unless it kind of screws everybody over at that point. It just kind of takes out the sellers and pulls in the buyers. But usually it should just respect that zone if we're to move down. Setting up a mini one right here. If it breaks this high over here, might see the first entry come in, boom, and then the second entry come in there. See if it pushes up. What do we do? What time frame is this? It's a 1 minute. It's re-breaking. Might see some more pullbacks. Hey, it's really fought the buys over there on those previous pullbacks too. Yeah, I think it's restructured at this point. So I need to see a little bit more of a fake out, maybe some kind of confluence, inverted head and shoulder. I could consider the move again. But as of right now, yeah, I'm just gonna sit on my hands. Maybe it distributes down. Gives a much stronger pullback before anything. So it's catching up to that 8 SMA right now. A little bit of range on the left hand side. Little clean traffic. Rebroke the previous candlestick lows. It's rejected off an hour FVG. Got on that sell, but got out at BE, not having that go to L. See it pull up, create inverted head and shoulders. Come on, Goldie. But can you check my clip account? Oh, nice. TetraFX.clips. We haven't done the clips in a minute. I still need to add in a new budget there on WAP. So if you guys want to make clips, there is a clip channel. You go on Discord. You can see it right here. So we do have a clip channel. Or you send an email to detailed plan. Just resend it so I can find it again. And like forward it again to me. Man, I always blow up when I'm having 300 bucks. Well, then you gotta stop over risking. Cut the entire 4-hour bottom wick on that top. It's 30 minutes going to close. It looks like it was just manipulation. Got the new 30 open. 30 open here, no bottom wick. Kind of annoying. And there's still room for that 30 to move up. About like 80 pips of upside. 15-minute small little break and retest situation. 15 is also clean to continue moving bullish. Are we coming up to take the highs now? Man, it delayed it so much though. Because they're looking for buys all the way from here. It delayed it so much. If it starts breaking the highs, that's not the move that I wanted to see. Let's just get something ready here just in case. But I'm not going to take it like this. We need some pullbacks, Goldie. Come on now. Can't tell me you just waited for a 30 open. No bottom wick. Need a strong pullback. Pull it back, pull it back, pull it back. A little more would be nice here in the last 5 seconds. Oh. All right. Should we take it on the break? It's kind of like what I wanted to see. It would be nice if it pulled down a bit more, like properly retest these zones. But yeah, I think it should be pretty much. Oh, no. Flipped on the last 5 seconds there. Still need a solid bullish closure. At least. Yeah, and like last 5 seconds changed this whole structure here for me. Bro, let's go and play football after the session. Kicked it. New 30-minute has no bottom wick. Would be nice if it did. Let me see if it created it already. Man, today TradingView is taking a minute to load the different time frames for me. Don't even want to change the time frames. Yeah, we still don't have a bottom wick over there. I think I need to clean my cache or something here. Three, all right. Created support, nice. Got a little kiss of death situation over there on the 1 minute time frame with the SMAs. See how the 5 minute is. We got the 5 minute supporting price action over there. I'm looking for a fake out. You see this little V-shaped reversal? How it broke below support? I'm looking for that to be a fake out so price can just keep moving up bullish. Oh, come on, TradingView. Man, those small little seconds. See if I get triggered. Alright, so this candle needs to break. See what it does. Got a new 5 minute opening in about 3 minutes. See if this creates some kind of a structure over here. Some kind of resistance before move up. It's faking out the sellers. It's like it's trying to squeeze them out. It's trying to squeeze them out because it broke some key structures there. It should have actually moved down if that's what it intended to do. See, might as well just create that resistance now and then break on the next candlestick. See, again, 5 seconds. Boom. Alright, so I got triggered. Expecting price to continue to move up bullish. Stop loss just below that wick. On the 1 minute. We got the new 5 minute candlestick that's about to open up soon. Let's see. This candle here could definitely look a bit... Hey, give me a second here, chat. All right, let's fly, Goldie.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Yeah, I was saying the 5 minutes just a bit overextended. That's why I might have some pullbacks as we wait for the new 5 minute candlestick to open up over there. In about 20 seconds. Here comes a new 5 minute open. See if SMAs can hold. At least got some dynamic support over here off that 8 SMA. How much is the break there? Like 13. Hope it's not such a big pullback. Let's see, just create a gradual bottom wick, because I've noticed like gold this week has been pulling back quite aggressively sometimes. Let's see, just need a gradual bottom wick like normal on the 5 minute over there. See, we got like, at least we got that 5 minute 8 SMA over there too. Additional dynamic support. Should be able to get through that resistance over here with bullish momentum. Remember guys, trend is your friend until it bends. Come on, Goldie, you got this. You got this. You already got the bottom wick. Are you not having a no trade zone? No, this is the area I wanted to see price distribute from. If it breaks up below like 39.81, that's where I'll be looking to manage my trade. Because it could form a bigger bottom wick. See, it's kind of like tumbling a bit already. See if it respects the 35%. Not what we want to see for a stress-free trade. Yeah, it looks like it spiked out. Damn. What I do on that? Yeah, I just managed it there. No, I think it looked good. Structurally speaking, it looked good. It looked good to continue flying up there. Dune. Break the high. Okay. Yeah, it looked good. So that's what I always do. After every trade, I just look at it briefly and say, okay, was that part of the rules or did I do something wrong? And yeah, I think that's always going to be the case. That's what you always got to do. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to revenge trade. I'm not going to react to that in a vengeful way. I'll react to it in a way that's, you know, you're going to learn from it if there's anything there. Anyway, let's go ahead and journal this. The start was nice though. The start was good. Started with like quite a decent push. Just being very cautious about gold. It's been kind of pulling back a lot. Goldie is being somewhat aggressive. So gotta be just very cautious with the pair. These are the pullbacks that I'm talking about. Like trying to avoid these types of pullbacks. See those deep 5-minute pullbacks? Since I have deep 5-minute pullbacks. So let's see, it might just range here. It's created a support and you got resistance. Well, we're still up on the daily 1.27%. It hasn't yet created any new lower lows. That'll only happen if you see candlesticks do this. Then it creates like a new lower low. Then you can look at that and say, okay, you know, we might be shifting the direction to the downside. But as you see right now, we're still moving up bullish. Bullish. This is actually supposed to be the liquidity grab right over here to take out the previous sellers right here, so price could continue to push up bullish. But you see what it did? It took out, it squeezed the sellers in and then it squeezed the buyers in. So, you know, it's kind of like very difficult to get a winning trade there as a seller and as a buyer. Because I know some of you guys were in sells already. So if you're still in your sells, obviously chance that you get tapped out here, buyers in and back into drawdown. That's why I manage the trade. That's why I don't hold my losing trades, because I know the moment it starts to give me a hard time, it's better to cut it off. So instead of like risking, let's say 66 pips, you just cut it out here like 26. Then you're gonna manage your risk. Just wait for the easy trades. Back from walking the dog, still in time. Oh. I felt a bumper clock coming on that 5-minute. Once it created the bottom wick and then started reflipping back up. It was loading up. I don't know if you use or care about fixed range volume profile, but it looks like gold should go up. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't use any of that, but definitely, you know, all I use is my EYS indicator. And clearly gold is moving somewhere and it's moving more bullish than bearish. So it's like, if you're going to see price move like this and then just speculate it's going to move down, you know, that's a little bit more risky than if you just like, you know, look at what's happening currently. And remember, it's a new day. We have ADP today. So we could have been having a pricing in or potential ADP numbers here, which would have been in favor of gold moving up bullish. You know, so we could have easily just kept skyrocketing it up from this point, even from 1.30%. Easily. Especially the sellers. The first round of sellers here got squeezed out. Look at this. Yeah, like really nice range to keep moving down. Price came up, took him out. Now it's back in the gulag. Back in the gulag. Let's wait. Let's wait for win. Is more better one. Gold zone says buy from 39.74. Yeah, it's not a gamble. It's just more like, you know, just repeating, executing, repeating, executing. That's all that it is. Can't win them all, right? See, we gotta change this over here too. You can't win them all. I tried to ask a question on Discord, but they keep on being blocked. Yeah, I know, we just gotta wait and see what Goldie does. Maybe it breaks into a range here like what we saw happen yesterday during the London session. It could spiral like this for a bit as well. This is what you don't see right now, but you're gonna see it later. After all the damage is done, after all the overtrading and revenge trading, and you know, that's when you're gonna see it later. So that's why, like, when I take a trade and it's a losing trade, I'm like, okay, let's see what happened over here. Maybe it's just gonna do the same thing. It's just gonna keep faking out. So, you know, no point beating a dead horse. It just closed below support now. Again. Closed below support. Starting to rip back up. It didn't even break the lows. Just like 0.3 pip break. Nothing too big. So you can see here. Boom. Pull up. Break highs. Pull down. Close below support. Now we wait and see what it does. If it pulls back into the range, or if that candlestick can reflip. The best case scenario for gold right now, where it's like I can say the price action is clean, is if this candlestick here was to reflip and then re-break its lows, right? Re-break its lows to continue pushing down to fill that range down towards the support. Then I can say, okay, you know, it's like still kind of relatively clean. Just took a little longer to play out from this zone. But if it closes below support and then closes back into the range. So you see, we just created a new lower low right over here. With what is like kind of unnecessary pullbacks in the way that I view markets. Because, man, one thing about gold, when it moves, it moves. It doesn't give you too much time to, like, you know, sit around an area for too long. Like, if there's some kind of entry confirmation, like, this thing would just move. It's a shotgun at the moment. Yeah, it's like a shotgun here, but it still needs a stronger break, though. At like 2 minutes, 30 seconds. You're going to see it. Let's just watch what happens with the market, you know. Because this is a point where people usually mess up. Because it's clean when you take it. But then it's only when you start to overtrade it, you start to realize that you could just be in a condition like this. And that's why I say there's nothing that you could ever do to have won that trade. Like, it would have just been one of those situations where you just get stuck in range. So let's see what happens. All you gotta do is take a chill pill and just watch the chart. It would be brutal if it actually takes out that 5-minute high and then reflips in the last 1 minute. That would be nuts. Oh, you sent an email? Alright, nice. From Monday, it's 50 fib level. BTC came back to 99k. Told you, like, Bitcoin's dropping. It's going downtown, but you'll see it go up above 100k at least one more time. But yeah, it got like 100 right here. It's starting to break below 100. But I think you'll see it go dip above 100 one more time before the main crash, the big crash. Man, people holding Bitcoin right now, like, damn, what's this guy talking about? You know, so many people hold Bitcoin, like people who don't even trade. As much of y'all in the chat trade, there's some people who just do like casual trading, and most of the time these people just got like Bitcoin. And they just assume that it's going to the moon. Man, like if I want to hear someone who doesn't know anything about trading, they usually talk about Bitcoin only. But I think it's like very speculative, you know? Bitcoin's like very speculative. Every single trade is a gamble because you can't be sure of the outcome, but the sample size doesn't lie. Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, waking up in the morning. You put on your clothes and you go to work. It's a gamble. You know, you could get into an accident. There's a probability of car crashes. You could get in an accident, you know, but because of your sample size is so big and your survival rate is at 100%, there's a lower probability that, you know, that's going to happen to you. So yeah, everything is in that sense a gamble, right? So it's like the perfect approach or mindset to have towards trading as well. That's why you can never risk too much on one single trade, no matter how good your hit rate is. Because you know that next trade is around the corner. You don't know when that cluster is about to roll in. And you don't want to find out. Because the moment you increase your risk, also something is going to change in you mentally sometimes too. Gotta start like forcing trades, being emotional. Yeah, but it looks like it's back in the range, back in the gulag here. It's forming a really nice accumulation though. I did like my buy though. Definitely one that I could have seen playing out. Man, we just got everything. Nice little V shape over here, inverted. Accumulation. See, the sellers got trapped in there. Then we got boom. Candlestick broke the highs with volume. Like, man, that's looking good. And then this candle did this. Then I'm like, oh man. Created a resistance there. Boom, boom, boom. Create a resistance there, then it pulled down. It might be still trying to break later, but we'll just monitor from this point. Could have been extending the range a little bit more. We'll see what happens if it like breaks above this high. I think that's by 39.86 and it moves up, or if it starts to pull down again. What kind of crypto do I own? None. Just got London session's acting like Asia session too slow, and Asia like London session. Yeah, that's true. It's starting to spin a bit here. So we got in the kill zones. This is when the London opened. Got one push over here at 305. One solid push and then broke into a range now. Another range. Another London potential range. Like yesterday. there are times in the market does this, like where specific time. I remember this was happening quite a lot I don't know if y'all remember in the beginning of the year. This was actually happening quite a lot, and it's the reason why we stopped trading counter trend moves, was because price would give us like these kind of signals, let's say like this for example, and then just get stuck in a range, in a big range. So for the London session, we just mainly started focusing on trending moves. So we would wait for the day to at least trend, give us a bit more of an edge that we can get continuation, because the London is a bit old. Like it's a bit of a later time you're coming in, because there's still pretty good moves that happens. Like even Asia, look at Asia, was beautiful. Got an amazing Asia session. Pre-London was all right. Then like also this last push over here with the London Open, but London is a bit later on. So you do want to see some sort of conviction in the market, some kind of movement, which we do have today, but it's, you know, now it's spinning. Because the idea here was this candle, you see from this candle, that would create a support with that daily to continue to move bullish, following this extension right over here. Support, fake out, move up. But then when it does this, and then it comes back into the range, like, damn. See what it does here again. Starting to break below that support area. See if it actually follows through this time. This candlestick did not close below that support, finally breaking below these lows. Daily's up 1.16%. Look at the 1 minute, 39.83 respected. It's like breaking the lows of this accumulation now. See from this area over here. It just broke those lows and it peaked here at about 13, 14 pips on the initial break. Still got a nice downside. It's creating like a head and shoulders here. It's a left shoulder, right shoulder volume on that push downwards. You can see with like the way the candlesticks were coming, because you know, like whenever you're using head and shoulders, you can't like guess that this is going to be the right shoulder. You can only say it after the fact, like after price pushes in line with your confirmations, you can expect some volume to come in. You see with the candles and how they behave. Boom, boom, boom. Well, so far so good, but it's doing the same thing it did up here. Initial break was awesome for continuation. Initial break awesome for continuation. Then it pulls up and it creates support. Okay, support like this created resistance. Then you're like, oh man, maybe it's just gonna pull up again. It just increases the probability. That's all. Because trading is just probability. Like each moment in the market is seldom unique in that sense. Like when the candlesticks close in a certain way, it shifts a probability, right? Just like if you are walking back home, let's say after a night out of drinks, maybe there's a higher probability if you go through the subways, it's gonna be more risky than if you go through maybe like a street where people are gonna be walking on. You know, life is all probabilities, and you know, things change. Nothing stays the same. That's why you gotta see here, create a support, changes the probability. That's why I said just the same thing that happened here, because I know my system in and out. I'm the cameraman who knows the camera in and out, right? Because I've been trading the system for a long time. So when I take a winning trade, I'm like, awesome. When I take a losing trade, I'm like, awesome. You know, because I know how these things play out here. But you see, because if you don't understand the system, then it's all going to be gambling. You know, trading is just going to be gambling for you, and you never build an edge, because that's what an edge is. An edge is understanding your system, your time frames, your market sessions, the candlestick patterns, what forms, etc., etc. That's what an edge is. So if you don't have that data, then it's always going to be like a gamble. You take things personally. Anyway, let's look at the 5 minute over here. Damn, TradingView is taking a while today. Yeah, we got like small little 5 minute looking like liquidity. That's why I mean, like, Goldie has just been... This is something I'm very cautious about this week, is these types of, like, pullbacks. Especially, man, if this 5 minute was just a pullback, that would be nasty. Because you see how it breaks these lows and then starts, like, pulling people up. See, it's pulling people up over here. Don't forget, not everybody trades with big stop losses. People in here with, like, tighter stop losses. And the break, let's see how much it pulled back up here, about like 22 pips. That'll put me out with my 16 pip stop loss, and it's still moving up. Holy! What was that wick? So there's serious mind games over here. Just push all the way up, create that wick. 5 minutes still looks a bit nasty though. Look at the wick the 5 minute left behind. It's a small liquidity grab. This is why, you know, you gotta eat that humble pie. You can't fight the market. Sometimes the market, nothing you can do. If you get a trade that doesn't win, trust me, you gotta call it a day, because the days that your trades are playing out are gonna be days you're gonna have a higher probability. If you take the next trade, it's gonna play out. But if you take a trade in the beginning of the day and it doesn't play out, there's a higher probability the next trade is not gonna play out. Because, you know, there might be like a shark in the water. You can see the way the wicks starting to generate over here. You know, nobody's gonna teach you this, man. I think this is only stuff you're actually learning. If I'm not mistaken, man, I bet you this is one of the main things you're learning on this stream that you're not gonna find anywhere else. There's like somebody actually like emphasize and teach you this and show you how, when price is just garbage, how it's better to just stay away. You know? 5 minute building too much. I mean, look at some of the people on the chat. We've got some people in the chat here who've been trying to sell price since the London Open over here. So imagine the amount of tries they're needing to even get like a follow through. You know, and they're probably still looking for sells right now. But you see, I took a buy over here because I saw the first sellers. It didn't work out for them. So I'm like, okay, let me try the buy. See the first buys that didn't work out. And it's like, okay, that's it. That's it. Leave the overtrading and the emotion trades for the gamblers. Yeah, just leave it for the gamblers. Trust me, man, stick to like 1 or 2 trades a day and you're gonna be good. Like if you got a losing trade here, just come back pre-London. You can try again a different session if you want to. Because, you know, I managed my risk over here. Instead of losing 1.5%, lost about, you know, 0.55%. So I still got some ammo. If I choose to trade. The best loser wins. I believe it's still a short side market. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. But, you know, it's just like yesterday as well. Yesterday, we were... Oh, what did I do here? Yesterday we were looking for shorts. Oh, damn it. I did that thing on TradingView where it like removes the indicators. Okay, there we go. Yeah, now it's like yesterday you see it's the same thing. We were also looking for sells over here. But imagine how many times you would have tried this. Sells. Before actually getting one that played through. Because it broke like... Alright, one here pulled up. See another break here. Let's just assume it's there. Pulled up. Another break here. Pulled up 3 times. And then it's only on the 4th time at the break of those lows that you actually got the distribution to the downside. The actual move. I'm not talking about these like little mini moves that you can get away with over here. Like sure, you could get away with them, but you know, it's not always the greatest moves. That's why they play out, because you know, probably most people wouldn't even take those moves. But like the actual clear moves, yeah, you would have tried a lot before getting that extension. Unless you just had to come in the New York session. Let's say unless you just trade the New York session, then you kind of like miss all of this. So at that point, you just have really good timing that you just came during the New York session to like maybe take a sell here or maybe there. That's the only other way. But if you're going to be like a slave to the market and you're going to be looking at charts all day, you're going to be most likely caught in those situations. But let's see what happened here. All right, so we respected, close bearish on the 5-minute. Now we close bearish. Again, for a small little wick fill, break those lows, and we should just move down. Finally break the lows and then just move down. But I say it's a low volume because gold doesn't give you usually opportunities like that. Like high breaks and then it hangs out around here. But this already clearly pulled up. Like it pulled up like 25 pips like this. That would have been me. I would have managed that already. Pulled up 25 and then it came down, still taking its time within this area. Because what we ideally want to see is what I like to see. You see these candlesticks? When they break, they just break with volume and some kind of a conviction. So it would be nice to see if this candle was to just break like this, close, and then just keep moving down like that. That's what I love to see, man. That's like what gold for me is what gold is. Gold isn't this hesitation. You know, this hesitation here, you can leave that hesitation for something like GJ. GJ can hesitate a lot, and you know, something like that to happen on GJ is quite normal. See, like stuff like this. Beautiful range here on pound yen. Close above resistance, break the previous highs. It still moved up. Look at the volume that came in there. But it first retraced. But usually on gold, you'd even expect like something like this candle to be on this candle right here and then just move up, fill the range. And I think that's a reason why we love gold. See, man, now it's like still pulling back. You see, freaking nasty. It's always the pullbacks that make it difficult. Price can still go in one direction, but it's always the pullbacks. It's teaching you the most important thing. Minimize your losses. That's the most number one key. Yes, sir. I've been trading for years. This is the first guy who trades like I do now. After every other strat ultimately failed, I still use other strat. But nothing works like this guy. Appreciate you, John. I mean, you know, we're just reading candles and we're just reading volume here. Like, there's nothing so complicated that we're doing. I think this is the most organic way to like look at price action. Because we're not adding anything extra. We're just looking at it for what it is. And I think people could only teach it like that when they've had some kind of experience in the market, some kind of a maturity in the market. And you know, maturity outside of trading is a whole different thing. You know, maturity outside of trading and in trading, those are two different things. So you can still be, you know, pretty young guy and like be very mature in the markets. So I think there's a level of maturity that just comes with like, you know, watching price over the years and understanding like, you know, how volume behaves and how candlesticks are supposed to print. And, you know, that's why we can lose less. You see, like today over here, that's why I can lose less. That's why I can lose less. But if you don't have that maturity, then what typically happens is you're going to lose more. Have I ever dealt with anxiety outside of trading? Yeah, I would say I'm naturally, what do you call it? Anxious or introvert person, I guess. It's because I'm always kind of feel like I'm buzzing on a higher frequency. So it's so much going on in my head sometimes. Makes me, it's like, it works for me, but it also works against me. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes to get shit done in life, you have to be so detail oriented, but that detail orientedness sometimes contributes to the anxiety. Like the other day I was like doing wiring for the first time, and I love to learn new skills. So I was learning how to do like electrical wiring, and since that day, this was like 5 days ago, it's still in my head. It's still in my head whether I did it right. And it usually takes some time for it to die out, you know, to say that I've done it right and I can forget about it. So I think anxiety sometimes helps, but it depends on you as a person. You know, some people are just like anxious for just being anxious. I'm anxious for not doing something correct. You know, I'm anxious for, am I missing something? You know, am I missing something? Is there something I should be doing right now? Did I take the right trade? You know, like look at it and then really question yourself. Man, I'm anxious. Even before I found trading, I was anxious, you know, because I was anxious of being broke forever, not finding my thing. You know, that fear is what drives a lot of us, you know, to like achieve certain things, to start businesses, to start companies, etc., etc. It's that fear of, you know, you feel like you're running out of time, and you know that anxiety, it builds up and it also affects your personal life. You know what I mean? So that's what makes me the most anxious, is the fact that I'm never gonna be at the point that I need to be, and that's what also keeps me going at the same time. Man, look at this thing. Just completely filled up the range over here. You know, it's like you gotta ask Michael Jackson if he was anxious. Man, the guy will tell you he was fucking anxious as hell, man. Michael Jackson's probably the most anxious guy you're ever gonna meet. You know, but he's one of the greatest. You know, when you put him on stage, when he's doing his thing, there's nobody like MJ. But you meet him in real life, you try to have a conversation with him, you know, you try to look him in the eye. He's a pretty nice guy, but you can tell he's fucking anxious. Right? Because he's anxious for greatness. You know what Michael said? Michael said, I don't want to go to this party, Prince. And he said, well, Michael, why don't you want to go for this party? No, I mean, no, what was he talking about? He was talking to somebody, and forgot the guy's name. He's like, let's go for a party. And Michael Jackson was like, I don't want to go for the party. Then he asked him, why don't you want to go for the party? Because if I go out tonight, God might give Prince the ideas for the songs that he was getting. Like, how crazy is that? Michael Jackson thought if he went out for a night out of drinks, that God would give Prince the ideas for his next songs. You know, the same Michael Jackson fell asleep one day, and then we have Purple Rain now because Michael was sleeping. Man, that's the kind of anxiety you need. I'm an electrician, mate. Of 14 years, I still get anxious. I've missed stuff. Yeah, I never like to mess around with. Like, that was my first time like actually putting, you know, a live, a neutral. This cable didn't have an earth cable. So it's like, okay, did I twist it right? Is the PVC touching the terminal right? Like, is it fully in? Is it bolted in? Is the copper wiring like stable? And it also just shows It shows that people who are like that, they take pride in their work, correct? You'd want an electrician who's like that. Because an electrician like that, he's going to take pride in his work. He's going to make sure everything is top notch. Because he's not just doing it for you, he's doing it for himself, correct? Do you like coffee? Can you sleep even if you have 1 cup early of the day? Oh man, I don't like coffee. Coffee makes me jittery. Coffee, energy drinks, they gonna put my anxiety now to like a whole new level if I'm gonna take that stuff. There's a reason also I don't have like I don't have very addictive personality. Like, you know, some people get so addicted to things. Like even like a cigarette can make me feel anxious. So I don't do it. So you see, it's a blessing and a curse. But you can't have just a best of one world. You know, it's also quite detrimental. Look at people like Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, you know, he's not the guy to be anxious. He had more of an ego problem. He was overly confident. But you know, with overconfidence is also a problem. Because there's no balance with overconfidence. You kind of just living in your own world. Like you see how Mike Tyson just lived in his own world, kind of. Man, look at this. The range finally got filled up over here. Daily is dropping slightly. It's still bullish, but it's down 0.99%. Right over here. I think it's kind of like scaring out some traders. It first shaked out the initial sellers right over here. See how it broke and then it came up, and then it came down again, broke, and then it pulled back upwards. This definitely shaked out lower time frame scalpers with tighter stop losses, and it could have also just scared out people with bigger stop losses. They see something like this and maybe they mismanage the trade. Then it like slowly comes down to fill the range. So quite a lot of mental work from price to make this move here happen, because you got to see where it came from and the psychology of how people could have been getting stuck in. You know, it's not about just having the right trade. It's also about understanding where the other traders are and how they could have gotten stopped out, to see if you could have really built some kind of a system to actually catch this move without any problem. Because you know what's going to happen? Man, a lot of people, they're going to try this trade. Like they're going to take one sell here, another sell here, and then maybe they catch this one here today. But you know, those same people, what happens is they take a sell here, losing trade, and then on most days they're going to overtrade. They're going to take another sell, losing trade, and then another sell. So it's like the same habit, you know. It's all about habits trading. So if you already have a habit of overtrading, just because you're trying to push price to catch some kind of a sell, that means you're going to have another time, you're going to do the same thing, but price is not going to be coming down. And most of the time, you're going to be in that same situation. That price doesn't actually go in your favor, that it will actually go against you in the long run. So, you know, that's a very bad habit to have. But if you look at a guy who takes, you know, like one buy or like one sell and then, you know, calls it a day, maybe manages his trade, manages his risk, and maybe even give it a second shot because his manages risk, you know, that's a good habit to have. Because now you're approaching it with a risk first approach, not reward. I find the London moves tend to return to volume profile. Purple rain. Man, how crazy is that though? Like, dude, Michael Jackson thinking was on a different level. The reason we got purple rain today is because he fell asleep one night. Because, you know, Michael Jackson says like all his music came to him from the, like, basically from God, you know, like, because that's how it is. Creativity just comes out of almost nothing. It comes just from nothingness. It doesn't come from having like a set rule like 1 + 1 = 2. You know, so from this nothingness, that's a kind of ether that they're kind of pulling out from ideas, you know. So it's the same like with Prince, it's the same with MJ, it's the same with a lot of magicians, Jimi Hendrix. All these guys are all pulling from that creative pool. So how wild is it to think like if he's not going to be putting in the work, then that idea he could have pulled out from the pool is going to be pulled out by somebody else. Man, these are levels of thinking that most people are never going to understand, you know. It's because you just have to want to have like, you just want to push your limits. You want to push your limits to what you are able to do. Most people are happy working a 9-to-5 job, just regular life, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. Other people are fucking depressed. You tell them to live a life like that, they would rather kill themselves. Because like, how is it living a life not knowing your true potential? You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to live a life, at least when you're old, have no regrets. Like, try your full potential. You know, it's all mental at the end of the day. You literally can do everything. It's all mental. And this thing is just completely nutting right now. Look at this. Oh, the 15-minute looked clean though. 15-minute didn't pull back as much on the higher time frames. Just had a few rejection wicks above here. Close below support. Clean break on the next candle. Yeah, that 15 looked good. Did you just say magicians? I said musicians. Yeah, but magicians too. You know, magicians too. You gotta like think up of the tricks somehow. Like Houdini and stuff. You gotta figure out how can you create this illusion for people. You know, where you're gonna get that creative idea from. It's just the same in trading, you know. In trading, we put so much work in trading that sometimes we get these ideas come to us out of nowhere. Just from looking at the chart, and then we get like an aha moment. Right? Where does that idea come from? It just comes from being in the environment, putting yourself in the right environment to actually be able to get those ideas. That's all that it is. Yeah, I got Messi, football players. They all pull out from the same source. Generally speaking, you know. We can all tap into this source. The same source. All the people you look up to, they're all pulling from the same source. You can tap into it too. The universe doesn't discriminate. Remember I told you guys, if a baby is gonna go into a socket, the electricity is not gonna stop and say, oh, whoa, this is a baby here. We can't shock the baby. Or if a guy does his taxes and it's raining, the rain's not gonna stop midway and say, no, this guy did his taxes, so I'm not gonna fall on his head. So that's a beautiful thing about the universe. It doesn't discriminate. You can all pull out from the same source everyone pulls out from. It's just all a matter of like, you know, do you want to put yourself in a position to get splashed? I always like to think about it that way. If you put yourself in a position to get splashed, you're going to get splashed. M1 time frame. Where is the trade idea? Yeah, this would have been a very difficult trade to catch. This was a distribution. Head and shoulders did end up playing out over there. Break below the lows. Small little pullback and then get the continuation. I think I've been pulling from the wrong source. I just gotta keep pulling, buddy. You never miss a lucky day if you show up every day. So you might think you're pulling from the wrong source, but you're doing exactly what you need to be doing. You never miss a lucky day if you keep showing up every single day. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe not next week. Maybe not next month. But you know, just keep showing up. Just keep pulling from it. Because what are you going to do? Are you going to not pull from it? You know, they say you're going to miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So you'd rather take a shot, correct? Take a shot, miss a shot. At least you took a shot. Keep doing that. You're going to get lucky. Eventually, you're going to hit it. You're going to get the bullseye. And you don't need a lot of bullseyes. You just need to be right that one time. That's what Mark Cuban says. All you need to be right is once. You just need to be right one time. Look at a lot of people. They're not right multiple times. They're just right one time. Elon Musk was right about PayPal. Bill Gates was right about Microsoft and building computers. All you need is that one time. So just keep shooting the arrow. It doesn't matter if you keep missing it. It really doesn't matter. Just keep shooting it because you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Hey Vic, what about your travel vlogs? I want to start travel vlogs next year. Like psychology vlogs, not like travel, not like showing off and stuff like that. No, just like, you know, just some kind of psychology video. Because that's the kind of person that I am, you know. I'm not a type of person to like boast about things. But I'm always looking to provide value where I can. So yeah, I want to do it like next year. Got on that sell, but got out BE. See pullbacks coming. And it's just a clean distribution. Straight nut. But I do understand the sells from the perspective of... Remember when we started stream, we said the reason why gold is even probably up so much is just because of the support region over here. Right? So I do understand like why these sellers could be coming back into the market like this. It's because this is just more of a technical thing. I don't think much has changed, but you know, you can never be too sure about these things because you also got like ADP today. It could have been a pricing in of ADP. So rather just go with a trend. Break below 39.62 looks clean. Oh, let's see. It's 15 minute. Oh, damn. Yeah, it does. Very nice. Look at this. Look at this. 237 pip range over here. Below support. Insane. Just like it filled this range over here, you know, we could possibly fill some of this range too. It looks like the move for London was a sell. Now the question was, how could you have caught this move? You know, when you look back at it in hindsight, like, how could you have caught this sell over here? Because that's all that it was. I don't think there was any buy positions necessarily. We did get a buy setup, but you can clearly see what the London session today was. So if you can't answer that question of how you could have caught this move, just keep it moving. Because, you know, you're not meant to catch every move in the market. And if you keep trying to figure it out, you're gonna always be going back to the drawing board. So you're gonna be running. Man, this is something that happened to me at some point in my journey. I felt like I was forever in this kind of like loop. I was in a loop because I was obsessed with the idea of finally finishing my trading plan. So every day I'd be like, man, this is it. Like I would put my plan on a piece of A4 paper and it would have like a checklist of certain things that needed to be part of the trade. And every single week I'll be like, this is the last plan. This is the final product. But every single week I would keep changing the plan. Even if it's like a small thing, like everything stays the same. But then let's say I just change a small little line over here, then you know I gotta like reprint the whole thing. So in the end I had like so many pieces of A4 papers just trying to chase that perfection. Just trying to chase the final product. And you start getting in a loop because every time you're gonna take a trade, you're always trying to learn from the trade and there's always gonna be something to change about the trade. So this is a dangerous, vicious loop that, man, especially with my anxiety in the sense that I always want to get better and I'm very anal about things. This is a very vicious loop to be in with someone with the type of characteristics that I have. Very exhaustive loop. So you want to avoid this as much as possible. And the way you're going to avoid this is by stripping away everything that you don't need and focusing on just the pure basic fundamentals of what you understand about what markets are, that you truly understand. Not that somebody told you that, you know, this algorithm, that's how algorithm works, but like something that you truly understand. And you look at it and you say, you know, this makes sense. I don't see this changing. And it's an objective truth, you know, you got to be objective as much as you possibly can be because, you know, trading's a lonely game. So you really have to trust yourself that you're making the right moves. So that's why the way I trade, it's very stripped down to some bare bone basic concepts of trading. And then the rest of it is just psychology, you know. It's like you're gonna learn how to drive a car. Everyone can drive a car, but not everybody can drive a car. You know what I mean? So everything in life will require you to tap into some kind of source to find your own edge. Everybody can cook, but not everybody can cook. Because it's like an art. Life is an art. Man, there's this one guy I saw on YouTube the other day. He is insane. I have never seen a guy drive a car like this. Like the way this guy drives a fucking car, you cannot teach anybody to drive a car the way this guy drives a car. And he drives cars like normal cars. You know, he drives normal cars, but the way he drives this shit, it's literally like he could die at any moment. And it's so natural and easy for him that looking at him doing it, you'll be like, man, are you crazy? Do you want to die? But you know, like his perception of risk is completely different. Look at this shit. Who in their right mind would be going this fast and then he just like, you know, warming up the tires? Look at this shit. Like, it is insane. Wait, this is nothing even right now. This is nothing yet. Like the way he plays with it on the road. Like he does shit like this on the road. And I've never actually seen a guy drive a car like this. And for me, this is like so risky. Look, he like sends this thing flying. Like, look at the stuff he does, bruh. And it's so natural for him to just send it. Like, he literally sends this thing everywhere. In the woods, on the roads. Dude, this guy's so funny. When he crashes the car, he puts the emergency brake. This shit. He can flip the car like this and put the emergency brake on. This is insane, man. Like, this level of understanding risk, you know, it's not for everybody. So that's the same way in trading. You just have to be... You gotta tap into your own source, you know. No one can teach you to do this. Look at this. Look at that. The road is not even a clean road. This road is like bumpy and stuff. You know, this car could literally flip at any point. Look at that. There's like Arabs. Yeah, I got the Arab driving guys too who put it on like 2 wheels. Yeah, but you know, that's what it is. No one's gonna teach you that. They're gonna teach you how to drive a car. I can teach you how to trade, but I can't teach you how to do that. Bro, it's building a head and shoulders at the 15-minute. That's how the car wash guys drive my car when they take it for a valet. I'm damn sure they do. Let's see, I wouldn't do the jumps, but my old Honda on the road was feared. I made a few people cry and one person even pissed themselves being my passenger. The cool thing about those guys who do stunts like that, those Kino medieval, what's that word? Carnival, Mardival. You know those stunt dudes? They get paid if they do the stunt or not. If they make the stunt or they fail the stunt, they still get paid. Evil Knievel. Yeah, I knew it was going to be a tough week. I knew this London session was tough. So I was happy to skip out on Monday. I was even considering skipping out today, to be honest. Because I know this London session right now, it's a bit tough. But like the what do you call it? The volume though was like something a bit different though today. At least we were up like already 1%. But I was already contemplating it. I used to drift a little with my car, nothing like that. Still messed up the turbo of the car 1 year in. It was brand new. Oh, 700 euro fix. Yeah, you know, if you got a car, it's so tempting. You just want to drive it. You want to push its limit. And it comes with a cost. Yeah, that's a move. That's a move. This wave has crashed. I think now it's trying to retrace, recover, but it's like a V-shaped recovery. There's nothing on the 1 minute here that's too interesting. Pretty clean distribution though. Avik, your trading style similar to Raja? You think so? Raja doesn't trade the 5 minutes though. He doesn't trade the 1 minute. I think he only trades the 15 and above. But yeah, in terms of a, what you call it, like low traffic areas, you know, it's like trading in the market, price only moves 3 directions, right? So when you say it's similar to Raja's, then it's kind of also putting it in a box, right? Market only does this, man. It just moves up, sideways, and bearish. And we can all have eyes to see that price mirrors certain movements in the market. And we know this. We know price mirrors certain things. It's a mirror of itself continuously. Like you can invert the scale. Price is always mirroring itself. So I think what it is, like we get to share like similar concepts from what we've seen happens over and over again. And that's kind of what you want to do. You want to look at other people and say, okay, you know, like it's nice to see that they're seeing the same thing that I'm seeing, you know, because that's like an objective truth. If you're going to have more people going to see the same thing, then it's like, it makes it more objective, makes it more of an objective truth. So that clean range aspect of it, and I think that's what you're referring to, is one of the most objective truths out there because it's the most obvious thing. Like every time you're going to see these really beautiful corrective moves, they're typically happening within clean ranges like this, correct? And it's all a matter of like, how do you get into your trade? You know, Raja wouldn't do it on the 5 minute. He wouldn't do it on the 1 minute, but I would. I would be here on the 5 and 1 minute, still anticipating the same thing that he would be looking at from that range perspective, but he would be getting in maybe on the 15 minute. As you can see, we did have a nice little 15 minute potential entries over here. You know, some rejection wicks above the highs. This is actually a consolidation reversal signal from these this area over here. Price broke above, created a new higher high, and then just gave like this kind of reversal confirmation signal that we typically speak about, and we also use sometimes on stream as a way to get into our trades. It's whenever we break a key structure, it consolidates. It's a really good signal for your entry model if you do see one. So yeah, there's this kind of ways that we look at markets, you know. But you have to be very careful that you're not just copy pasting. Correct? Because if you're just copy pasting, then it's then you don't find your edge. Because you see, like people who trade fair value gaps, they're kind of like trying to copy paste to find the fair value gap. Correct? But it's like you can always put your own perspective in there. That's what your edge is going to be. So you're going to see it slightly differently. Could be the same thing. We could still be looking for sells. But for me, I would see certain things like head and shoulder, my SMAs. Yeah, certain things like liquidity grabs, like even just from areas like this. Let's say if I was looking for a sell still. Look at that as liquidity grab. They're just these small things you pick up along the way. There's a head and shoulders right here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Nice SMA. And also like volume and how price came to your levels, like before you executed. How price was behaving. See, that's harder to teach somebody because this is a unique moment. Like whatever you've experienced here is awesome. You know, you can learn a lot from that. You can take some of this to the next trade, but it won't always be necessarily the same thing that's going to happen here. It's going to be like same, but different. But you know, given the right amount of sample sizing, that's what we call that maturity that you build. Of like how price reacts or behaves in these point A's. Because that's a point A. That's why we were looking for a trade here. Because we knew this was a point A. Price was to move from this zone. It just moved in the opposite direction. But we knew this was a point A. Right? This is the distribution to point B. Point A to point B. Back down to support. Now it has to set up another point A right over here. It's going to be the same thing. But you see, you're going to look at it differently because you're trying to catch this as well, correct? You're trying to catch this move. Ideally, that's what you're trying to catch. You're trying to catch these moves, right? We can all agree that's kind of what we're all trying to catch. We don't want to be catching anything in here because price doesn't go anywhere. It just moves sideways. So ideally, we want to catch something like this or like this. So it's all like we're all standing at the same bus stop, but the way we get into the bus is going to look slightly different. But as long as at least you can identify the right bus stop, then you put yourself in like an area where you're going to have more winning trades. Or you're going to have a better chance of getting those really good trades. Because like before looking at markets like this, I never used to look at markets like this. You know, before for me, everything was all the same. This was the same as this. Like this move up might as well have been this move sideways, or this move downwards might as well have been this kind of small sideways that it's doing right now. Because I couldn't tell the difference. You know, like if price moves up like this in a short term, for me, that would be just the same as this moving up like this. Then you get like really confused. I know you guys know what I mean though. I know you all know what I mean. Especially if you start learning from support resistance. Then that's when the stripping comes. You got to strip away all those things which are going to make you feel like over-analyzed. Why didn't I take a sell? Yeah, just because of the daily bias. You know, it was bullish. We could have just kept going up. How many times this year has price been up like this and it just kept going up? Like if you look at the whole year of 2025, how many times, like literally every day would be coming on stream and saying all-time highs. Well, not every day, but we would have like times in the market where price would just keep pushing way further than we thought it could. Correct? Like even if you took like yesterday's example, right? Look at this range that let's even go on the 15 so you can see it better. You got a lot of candlesticks over there that can be kind of confusing. So you're gonna look at this from the 15 from here to here. Man, like you would probably think that that is already done, right? You're gonna look at that move and say, oh, you know, we're at the bottom of the range, and that's it. And yeah, it is. It's filled the range down towards support. And then look at this. Boom. Keeps going. Spike down once. Say, okay, maybe it pulls up again. Boom. Look at that. Because how many times does this need to happen to you that you're going to realize that the market can keep going further than you think it can? You know, so when I take a buy like that, I'm expecting that same outcome. That price is just going to, you know, can keep going like that. Which we've already seen happen over and over. Over and over and over and over again. So if you look at even what happened here, it's quite interesting. It's basically the same thing that just happened here. That's the London session trade for today. It came in a lot sooner than yesterday's. Yesterday's came in New York and it ranged for the whole of London. But today's was kind of similar, but with a smaller range. Isn't that interesting? Either from a 15-minute perspective, that was a London session right there. See, even with the kill zones, you can see a kill zone here, kill zone here. Now it's just understanding. You see, that's how it looked then, and then this is how it looks now. But we have to go down the time frame so we can see more candles. Let's clean this up. Boom, boom, boom. So you see, trading's all finding some kind of structure in the randomness. So you see this? Same thing. Even like push down a bit more. That's all that it is. Where do I send you my setup? You just send it over to Discord. Caught a sell at peak. It was failed. TP break support yesterday in New York. Very nice. Took this setup Euro JPY. Let's see. Godspeed. Does your strat work on other forex pairs or indices? Yes. Hey, what's up, Red? My pending buy now is at 39.72. All right, so you got some nice range over here to move back up. I think volume is going to keep being trash until the government opens back up. I've been enjoying it. Like these past few weeks has been enjoyable for me, to be honest. Like this has been fine. It's only the only thing I'm kind of just been cautious about is this week, because it's a new monthly open, and I could already see it since Monday and since yesterday that there's been a bit of ranginess and there's been a bit of wicks that are forming here on gold during these hours, even during the early hours. But like these previous weeks have been pretty decent for me. I can't complain. But let's just see if we can keep getting this momentum up with Goldie. It's not seeing too much uncertainty in the market that's going to affect it some more. Because the market doesn't like when things are just left hanging, you know. It likes like solid things. Are we getting rate cuts? Yes. Awesome. No. Okay. But it's like, are we getting rate cuts? Maybe. Then, you know, then the market's also going to be like, maybe I'm going to move up. Maybe I'm going to move down. It's going to be the same thing. So that's kind of like where we are right now. Do you live stream on another platform as well? Yeah, I'm on Discord right now too. But that's about it. Got Discord over here. What are your thoughts on TradingView strategy backtests? I used to backtest on TradingView. I actually did all my backtesting on TradingView. It's just, I think like a good software for backtesting is definitely Soft4FX. But all my backtesting I did on TradingView. Yeah. Like when it comes to technical analysis, right? Because for me, I just needed to see the trades play out. I wasn't too focused on the P&L and stuff at the time. I needed just to see the trade play out, so I can see like how far does it push, and then I kind of tested the risk management. Gold rises more than 1% on risk off mood. Risk off. Gold prices gained more than 1% on Wednesday with slight US dollar pullback and wider risk off sentiment driving demand. The recent shift to more of a risk-off mood in the financial market due to growing concerns about equity market valuations is helping gold stabilize following its retreat from record levels. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if prices gold was moving up today, I'm going to move up with it. And the US government shutdown nears the record for the longest ever. Investors are focusing on non-official report. Yeah, the ADP. ADP report later due on Wednesday. Cues on interest rate path. Market participants now see a 72% chance. Oh, it went up. 72% chance of rate cut in December. Down from 90%. So it's increased there a bit more. We still see sound demand for safe haven seekers for physical gold, as is the case from emerging markets and central banks. So you see, chap, we were on the right side of the market. Price is bullish. You know, you can see how objective that I am about markets. Like this, you can even see with the headlines here. They're not saying price is going down because clearly it's moving up today. And I would still be looking for buys because the daily is still up 1%. I would still feel comfortable with buys, but I do understand why something like this could play out. I do understand. What would class as a good readout on TradingView strategy? You got to backtest like daily. You got a backtest of the weekends. But I think when you're gonna like backtest a trade when it's still fresh, like you're gonna take a winning or a losing trade and then you backtest or journal it, that's the best, you know, when it's still fresh. Don't take a trade then think about the next trade. Take a trade and then reflect on that trade for a bit, a little longer. That's gonna be really, really nice. Now at the end of the week, you can like do some further backtesting. That's why I like TradingView, because it's quick. You know, we're all already on TradingView naturally every day. We got TradingView on our phone, we got TradingView on our laptops. So it's like so easy for us to actually just use the tools that we're comfortable with, the tools that we know how to use. You know, and then just start doing this. Start doing this and then see how can you catch certain moves in the market. So maybe you're going to look at this and say, I'm going to take a sell over here if a candlestick breaks below support. And you see, okay, you know, it moved up. Say, okay, so maybe we're going to take a buy over here if it breaks above resistance. Then you're going to see maybe like anything else sets up interesting there. And see, oh, okay, so you know, you got triggered in here. Then see if we got some nice clean range on the 5 minute. And then you got to look at this and you got to think to yourself, if price continues to go against me, how can I lose less on this move? You know, so you're gonna like just gotta look at price and look at the wicks and the way price is behaving. They say, okay, like right here, something's happened that I think I can reduce from 75 pips. Maybe we're gonna do like 57.9 because you can see that price is moving up. That's created like left shoulder, head, right shoulder. All right, so I definitely don't want to break those lows at this point. Then I'm gonna be out of my trade. Then boom, they say, oh, okay, so looks like a pretty smart idea to manage my risk over there. This price just kept going against me. And you know, you just keep backtesting like that. And then you start getting used to the way candlesticks kind of like, you know, print. But definitely backtesting, man, it's like so different from foretesting though. It all just feels like slightly different. Don't know how to explain it, but you can get a good sense of what the market does. And if you can backtest it, you should be, in principle, be able to foretest it if you keep the same psychology. Because a lot of the time, the psychology like will change when you're foretesting now. Just wondering, does anyone else get 90% win rate with a 2 profit factor? Yeah, but that's one way of doing like quick backtests. But obviously, the more nitty gritty you can be about it, I guess it would be better if you got soft 4FX and you can just run like the P&Ls and see how the P&Ls are and all that stuff. What's new? Alpaca adds US equity options on TradingView. How's Nvidia doing? Apparently Nvidia is performing quite well. You know, one Nvidia is like 2 Amazons right now in terms of market cap. It's huge. See where we're currently sitting at. $200. Damn, I need to refresh my cache on TradingView. Look at this, taking so long to load this data. Damn, Daniel, come on now. Isn't that the worst? It just feels like slow internet. When internet moves slow and you get pressed, you're like, oh man, just load. This thing pushed up to $212, but it smashed through our $200 evaluation here. Look at this. Through 200 all the way to 212. Nvidia is now having a small pullback because we got a lot of buying over here. I think we're getting some sellers, some people cashing out. Because you know, like for people in buys who have a lot of money, they're gonna need that exit liquidity. They're gonna need that exit liquidity. So it's like a good time for some big players to come out. Oh, Lee. Look at this 5 minute here, just dump like 90 pips. I use y'all as liquidity. I told you price of retest around 93. You're my liquidity, bro. Like 50 pips on that 1 minute. Damn, Goldie's bleeding. What are we tapping? 0.80% now. Sheesh. It's looking at that 15-minute range. Right over here. Got about 10 minutes, 20 seconds for candlestick to close. Holy. You know, it wouldn't be entirely surprising to see the daily like reflip. Push down here, down towards that next 15-minute support is already going to be like a super doji candle. And then like 370 pips daily reflips, breaks its lows. That becomes a top wick. And then you're going to see like maybe continue onwards towards like... I was like looking at 3,900, but there's a support area down over here by 3,854. But yeah, at least fill up this kind of wick over here, 3,900-ish. Would not be surprised. Not entirely surprised to see that thing reflip, to be honest. If it's starting to move like this. See a 5-minute already closed below that area. Still got some 5-minute support levels over there. So the 15 looks a lot cleaner. Actually looks like a right shoulder. Head and shoulders, but right shoulder over here. You got boom, left head, right shoulder, volume coming in, support. You call 4-hour liquidity. Let's see. I'm gonna look to the 4. Yeah, the 4 broke above, filled up the range. This is already done move, but holy, look at the 4-hour. Towards the last hour over here, reflip, still fresh 4 hours, so there's a lot more leg room over here for price to keep moving down. You look at this, there's a lot more leg room. Like, look at this, that's like a doji. This thing can still keep coming down like this. So much leg room. We might just see for the rest of the session here sells. So not seeing any buy pressure right now. Even the hourly looks clean. Got some hourly SMA. End range. This thing's not in. Where are you going, Goldie?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Oh, did I write sells? It should say buy over here. XAUUSD buys. Also, my other question, have you tried a Autobot trading where you program the strategy into the bot and the bot does everything? No, I don't think a bot's gonna work for you, you know. I think a human's always gonna be better than a robot, because a robot doesn't see the creativity. It can't pull from that source that we were talking about earlier on. Like, you can sure program certain things into a robot to make it seem like 1 + 1 = 2, but there's certain things and certain ways that price behaves that you can't like teach a robot, unfortunately. I think humans, man, we can never give autonomy to robots. That's the worst thing. Like, if you see what YouTube is doing as well, YouTube is giving more autonomy to robots, and apparently right now there's like a whole bunch of YouTube channels which are actually getting affected by YouTube ban, because the AI is saying that the channel maybe broke some kind of a rule, you know. So definitely it is not perfect. You cannot replace a human at the end of the day. Maybe in the future, but as of right now, nah. I've never seen a robot which actually works. And if you have a robot, it's going up against robots that hedge funds use, which cost millions of dollars. So have you invested millions of dollars into a robot? Because you can't teach a robot to trade like ICT. You know, or you can't teach a robot to trade like TetraFX. But these robots that hedge funds use, they're more, I always think they're just more to facilitate the circulation of money more than anything else. They're not there to necessarily give profitability. That's always going to be the trader's job, the analyst's job. What's the economy looking like? You know, what are the probability of certain things happening? But I think like AI is beautiful for like gathering that data and then having that give you like its own opinion of what it thinks is happening in the world right now. Then you got to see from like a different edge in a sense. Like even if you talk to ChatGPT, haven't you noticed with ChatGPT can make something sound so convincing to you, but when you already know the answer and you know it's slightly a bit off and you say, oh, but what about this? Then ChatGPT says, oh, you're actually right. Da 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 da. So it's definitely not perfect. Oh, gotta be right back here, guys. What's going on here? Goldie's pulling up. Tapped off that 50 SMA. How much did it break though? Let's see, from here, about like 53. Not bad. That's I think what happened yesterday. We did like about, is it like 60? Is it like 60 over there? No, like 43. Then it pulled up. Do you have any video explaining the EMA 50? Yeah, we do. In the WAP database, we got a video explaining the SMAs. But besides from that, if you come over here, there's some kind of explanation on the SMAs when you click on the indicator. You just click on the indicator, you're gonna get like an explanation there. of how the SMAs are used. You see, it's a bit of a read, but yeah, I think it's, you know, it's good if you read it. People don't want to read it. Like, oh, gotta read this now. Put it in chat GPT and say, consolidate this information for me. That's how I do it. Whenever I have like a contract, if I look at a contract, then I put it in chat GPT and I get it consolidated. Like, tell me what I need to know. What's dangerous here? You know, what can screw me later? My entry at 3680 SL. Okay. Yeah, I think you know, when it comes to SMAs, just think of them as a physical or psychological support or resistance. Just like, you know, when we had the 4,000 level, $4,000. Remember how that act like a form of psychological resistance over here? Also, the SMAs act as psychological forms of support or resistance. You see like how it holds price down? So look at it here. So you kind of want to see this in your favor. So if you take like a sell, then you want to see SMAs in your favor. You see now you got the 50 and the 8 on the time frame that you're executing. You want to see it in your favor like this. You see how that works? And it's like a volume. It's like a volume thing. It just shows you potential volume. Let's see if we had it for the buys. Let's see what happened here. All right, so initially for the buys coming up, we did have our SMAs on the 1 minute time frame. Let's go on the 5 minute. There's nothing there. I don't think we had any SMAs going against us. We actually had all the SMAs in our favor. So it was a pretty good move. Because sometimes you're going to have a move like this where you're going against it. And you know, it's something to consider. Because it can hold price. Just the way it like holds it like here. As price moves up, it can hold it as you're looking for it to go in the opposite direction. That's why you see that perfect tap off that A15. See? Right here, that 15. So you can expect some reaction, because like if you don't have them on the chart, you don't really know, because if you're just looking at clean ranges, at the end of the day, price is king, but it does help you to see. Wouldn't you agree? You'd rather have that information than not, right? It could help you kind of make a better sense of the move. Why am I live going 10-second delay for real trading time frame? Because 10 seconds is the normal YouTube lag. See on Discord here, there's no lag. But on YouTube, there's 10-second. Okay. So yeah, 10 seconds. That's it. Sometimes it's 5 seconds. Let's see what's going on here. 15 minute is the only time frame which looks clean. 15 minute just closed below support. This thing is like looking to head down right now. Like that's the only clean range we see. 180 pips. Candlestick just closed below support. I don't see anything too appetizing. Let me go on the 1 minute. Yeah, I don't see anything too appetizing over here. This is not even much of a low consolidation play because it was moving upwards, more of like a trend line break. You could think about it, but you see how beautiful those SMAs come in as price comes and volume kicks in. Look at the way it's steep it becomes. SMA crossover. But oh, unless we look at it from this perspective, little head and shoulders here, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. The SMA crossover at the break of these lows. Confluence for price to keep moving down. Betting on the volume that's been coming in since earlier on. Expecting a further push to the downside. A continuation nation from here. Boom, boom. November came. Wishes yesterday. Yeah, I feel like the market is gonna pick up next week probably, because this week I feel it's a bit on edge. We got ADP here, then we got Trump speaking today, so we shall see. I was really hopeful for today, guys. Like I do like the fact that price is trending on the daily right now. JJ got DJ monetary policy official bank rate tomorrow. What else we got? Bailey speaks tomorrow. But besides from that, just an non-farm payroll. That's about it on for Friday, which we might not even get. Let's see this number. Yeah, just by 69.9% still. Not much has changed. Slow and steady. Let's see how many trades. How many trades are going to do this month? Let's see what happened in 2024. In 2024, oh man, look at my November here last year. Man, last year, November was amazing. Look at this. Only took 3 losses the whole of November. So can we get W November? Took about like 25 trades in November. 3 losses. Damn. It's been a while. Like this year I've made the most profit, but I've also had the most consecutive losses this year. Like I've definitely not had the spreadsheet is relatively clean, but it's not as clean as what last year was like, because last year I was taking less trades. You know, I was taking also less trades, and you know, it felt like a bit more stable. But this year there's so much volume, it's insane. It's insane. So it's easier to, like, you know, take less trades and feel like you're taking less trades and have those play out for you. But yeah, November was really nice though anyway. December, looks like we did actually slow down in December over here. It took about like 18 trades. Also 3 losses in December, so it's still pretty decent. But we haven't had that much of that this year. Because there's so much opportunity. You're always looking to like execute a trade. Man, look at August. August, 2 losses in August. I don't think we've got a month like that so far. I also took about 23 trades in August. Yeah, this is like normal conditions, you know, 15%, 20%. Then this year we got like 30%, sometimes 50%. But on average, yeah, like 15, 20%. It's quite normal like this. But I know we did go hard in 2023 though. People like, oh, we're not trading in 2023 December, which was insane. People like took breaks, but it was such a good month. Did like 31 trades. So yeah, we're just gonna see how it goes. My setup done here. Very nice. Do you give any trade also or not? I'm new to your channel. Welcome to the best London session stream. And yeah, we give out trades. We give out trade ideas and we give out trades. How to take a short trade with a bullish trend? Just watch price. You know, for me, for London session, during this time, I want to see a trend. But it's not going to be the case later on. As the day unfolds, I get more of a picture of what's going on. I'm like, okay, you know, maybe I don't need the daily trend. But it's always good to go with the daily trend. Like, if I see it trending, especially like in the early sessions, like from pre-London, I'm mainly looking to stick with a trend. Like, I would rather like to stick with a trend as much as possible. But you see, we're a bit further into the day now. So I'm getting a bit more of a picture of how price is behaving. And then it's like, maybe I don't need the data trend. Because you can see how volume is coming in. Hey, thank you, Pat Pay, for the membership. Welcome. But you see, you would not know necessarily about this sell-off until it happened. So it's like, the more data you get, the better. Because these are counter trend moves. Right? You can see it's a counter trend sell idea. But more data you get, much better you feel. buying. I really hate this PA. Nothing clear the last days. All these big retracement candles. Yeah, the thing I'm having a problem with is these wicks. I don't like these wicks. I don't like these pullbacks. That's what I've been noticing a lot of. Like, it's not all the time, but it's at the times that I'm looking to execute. Now we're getting these wicks, because those are like high volume times. It's a lot more time for people to get screwed. I mean, even the Asia session here was not the prettiest on the, but that's just market open anyway. Yeah, you see, it's like, man, it wicks for so long and then it has its push. But anyway, what can you do? You gotta do nothing but just roll with the punches. That's all trading is as well. It's just rolling with the punches. Look at this nasty pre-London session. I was not even on the charts during this day, thank God. Most likely would have taken a loss over here for the pre-session. Look at this. Look at how choppy this is. You know what I mean? And that's how it is. Sometimes it's choppy, sometimes it's not. Man, there was one time this year I kept losing my pre-London trades because at that exact hour was always a fake out. So I had like, you know, 3 back-to-back losses. I was like, fuck. What the hell is going on here? Like, leave me alone. You know, you gotta have some times in the market where the market literally feels like it's picking on you. It's like at that specific time, it's doing some bullshit. So you just gotta roll with the punches, and then it goes back to normal. Always goes back to normal. I really, yeah, so if you take a third trade today, I think I'm gonna look for a sell. Most likely a sell. If price keeps pushing down like this. We still got that 15-minute range. See this? It's still trying to break out of this area here. And that could be a right shoulder. You know, it's still currently in play. So you might have that left head, right shoulder, and then to continue filling it up. We just need to get through this level. This is like the most important level here. Yeah, it's like by 39.63. I normally get those thoughts like, is my broker messing with me? Then instantly feel like a flat earther and come back to my senses. Yeah, the broker plays with you like very delicately. Like you're not gonna notice so much because they use robots. I know my broker takes money away from me, but you know, like, what can I do? Can't do anything. I only control, man, in life, when you have a mental model towards just thinking about what you can control, you're gonna have a much more stress-free life. You know, what can you control in trading? You can control your risk. You can control how many trades that you take. You can control how you react to winning and losing trades. You know, those are all things that are in your control. You can't control a fake out. You can't, you know, a lot of the time people ask like, how can I avoid a fake out? You know, if I knew how to avoid fake outs 100%, then I would never lose a trade. You know, but you can't avoid a fake out 100%. But you can avoid, you can control maybe not taking impulsive entries too much, you know, because maybe you're getting faked out because you're doing too much of an impulsive entry. That's what you can control. Because, man, I used to get so many fake outs because I couldn't wait for candles to close, for example, or I couldn't wait for wicks to break. But that was what I needed to, you know, like, control. Some traders, you know, the difference between gamblers and professionals is really just that aspect of control. A lot of people just can't. Are you going to take any more trades today? I'm thinking on call it 4 trades in already. I want to. I don't know if I will, but I want to if something interesting comes up. But right now it's kind of slow. I'm not really looking at anything unless like price starts breaking below the support. I think that could be quite nice on the 15 to keep pushing down. So yeah, like the broker, as I was saying, the broker will mess with you like delicately in terms of like these milliseconds when you close a position. Like when you close a position, then it like pulls. There's something that the brokers do where it's like the pull the profits away from you slightly. And it's so hard to see. But you know, you can't do much about that. And that's just the way it is. It's not a big deal really. It's not a detrimental thing. You still get your profit. Profit is profit. But in terms of manipulations and stuff, you can do certain things. Like if your stop loss is always getting triggered before going in your direction, maybe just remove the stop loss and like get out of it manually. So if you see it actually break that level, and maybe not on your broker, because the broker's wicks are always a bit more than maybe what you'd see on like FXCM, right? Because it's also in the favor of the broker. Like they do these little intricate things, like the way the candlesticks close, it's never always the same price. You know, there's slight differences that can really mess up your edge. And in trading, that's all you need, is like just a small delicate thing to mess up the whole edge, to make a winning trade become a losing trade. That's all it needs. It doesn't need to give you an NFP wick. You know, they do it very finesse. It's a huge finesse that they do. And that's just what they all do, you know. But if you're consistent, it won't affect you. But you can control certain aspects of that too. Because it also works in your favor sometimes. Were you live on Discord? Yep. We're live, sir. We're live. You just gotta keep LIVIN. Just gotta keep living, man. Matthew McConaughey style. LIVIN. Got wicked out like that on NQ just now. One time somebody sent me a chart of a broker. This broker called FX Pesa. Man, and they had like a huge wick. They had a huge wick out of nowhere. You see like a freaking wick like this, man. No finesse. Where's the finesse? You know, this is like daylight robbery like this. And then you look at your trading view and you're like, is that the same chart? Man, it looked like a whole different chart over there. Well, you're gonna see on some brokerages. No finesse. You know, if you're gonna rob me, at least finesse me a bit. It's somewhere in here, actually. If you go on chat, and then you just keep scrolling, it's somewhere in there. But you're gonna scroll for pretty long. Let's read the newspaper. Is there any news? Gold rebounds from near 1 week low. Nothing here. Yeah, there's nothing. I feel like everybody went for lunch now. Because you already had the move. That was the London session sell-off. Now it's lunchtime. Missed the move. No buys for me today. I always run a second MT5 account besides my funded to make sure price action matches. Nice, nice. I always found like very difficult to be very like specific about that stuff, that sort of thing, because like what used to happen was I used to miss a lot of trades because let's say a candlestick would not have a wick. You know, the broker might not have a wick or something like that, something of the sort. And that used to make me miss out on trades. So I was like, let me just focus on trading view. Let me just focus on one chart, because you know, to get two charts be perfect is also like kind of difficult, especially in those areas where you're looking for your trade setups. because there's a high probability zone, so like anything can happen. I mean, one time I was in a trade during rollover on some currency pair, and after it opened, the spread went wide. My trade arrow was in the middle of nowhere. Never, like, this is why you don't trade the market opens, because the spreads are huge. You'd rather wait like for Sydney and Tokyo to open up first. Unless you truly think like, man, I think like price can go in this direction. And even getting filled in is hard. So you get your let's say you get your buy limit order like this, and you got a pretty wide stop loss. Sometimes even getting filled in is hard. Man, 10:30 lunch must be nice. Yeah, it's a London Open, you know. It's in Eastern timing. It's still quite early in the day, but it's like, because our schedule is so weird as traders, you know, because it's like that's your work, right? You have a certain time in the market, you take your trade, and then you're gonna eat your breakfast, whatever time that is. Then you have your first trade, and then your second trade, you do it, and then you're gonna have your lunch. Because it just depends. We're kind of like moving with when we think is the best times to be trading. So like right here, you have your trade. What are you gonna do next? You know, there's nothing else to do. Guys in a hedge fund right now in the rooftop smoking a cigarette. Hey, how's your London session there, buddy? Because, you know, there's always times to trade and there's times to also not trade. I think people forget like the second one, that there's actually part of your trading system is also not trading. Time to do something, time not do anything. Man, yesterday people took losses on gold because I think gold was just a time to not do anything. So somebody took like pretty big loss. Bro, your background is very good. Feeling excellent and rich. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. London session has been horrible today. My understanding of a hedge fund are they work off levels. I was in a trade in the afternoon already. Nice. Got only two positions. Right in the chat, how many trades have you all taken so far? I know Ricardo got about like 4. Call it 4 trades. I've taken 2. How many trades have you all taken today? Because if you think about it, if you were just solely to trade the London session, like, why would you have taken so many trades here when there was only one move? You know what I mean? 10? Hey, we got Ryan coming out from the shadows. 6, 3. Overtrading in the shadows. I am Batman. But damn, 10 trades? Holy. That's crazy. That's the only way that you're gonna ever lose against the market, is giving it more chances to take your money. That's when I think about taking a trade, I'm always thinking about losing the trade, not making money. Nearly blew your funded account in Asia session. Man, you gotta protect your money. You know, don't expose your money to the market. The market looks so innocent sometimes. Like, look at how innocent this looks. You're gonna think, okay, you know, maybe I'm gonna give this a shot over here. I gotta take a buy like this and then move up like this. It always looks so innocent, right? Until you do that with a long enough time frame, you know, because that's what the market understands. It knows the... Oh man, this would have been also like maybe a decent buy over here somewhere. But it knows the importance of time. Like the more time you're gonna put yourself in here, you definitely gotta give it back. I just want to get 500 bucks. Took 2 in London, knife catching and 2 pre-London. It always looks so innocent, the market, till it doesn't. Till you actually get in, then it starts pulling down like that, for example. I eat overtrading for breakfast, 10 is little. Say I took 4 trades per day maximum. 14. I sent you trade on Discord. Amazing. Really nice entry here. Looks like FX Alex G chart. $100 to 1 million. But it took me a few tries. Took me a few tries. Patience. $100 to 1,000 challenge, but you took 9 tries. Let's see what this is. Karma. Forex is like this. You think you got, and then what's she trying to do? Oh, is she trying to sell a package? Damn, that's like the stuff they put in money, right? Thing that mocks the money. Yo, instant karma. You think you're gonna get away with a trade, and then that happens to you. Holy. It looks like that thing in Battlefield, you know, when you put smoke around the tank. Boom. Covers the whole tank up. Boom. Happy Halloween. Oh, and he got the color too. What the hell is this thing? Why do so many people do this? Why? Wait, better question is, why are people doing this to people? Is it just to like... Because you still gotta clean this shit up. You gotta clean this. I don't know if this stains, but it looks like it stains. You gotta clean all that shit up. Fun if you could time it though. Like, you see, this one's timed right next to his car. Boom. Nice little timer on them. See, like this guy right next to the car. Candy thieves. Oh, you can't tell what's ring cam and... Oh, you're right. That could be AI. Is that not AI? It's getting very hard to tell the difference nowadays. People do anything apart from a real job. Man, let me tell you something. The people who try scam people here on the Discord, you saw we got some imposters over here. They put so much work into this that could make more money working at a car wash or something. Or doing door-to-door sales. Like the amount of energy they put in this thing. They could make more money doing something else. So yeah, you know, people are gonna do anything apart from a real job. But it's all a matter of like, you know, you're moving with integrity or what are you trying to do? Yeah, AI is getting so good. Price is starting to like break above. You got 15 seconds. Candlestick's about to close. Might try and fill this range here. But you know, with that selling pressure coming in, I wouldn't take this position at this moment just because I see how much selling volume that there is. Even though the daily is still bullish, up 0.90%. And whenever I'm not sure about the market, whenever I find myself hesitating like that, I just stay away from it. I usually just stay away from it because there's a way you're gonna execute on positions where you feel so confident, right? And then there's a way you're going to look at trades like this and say, okay, you know, I'm not sure. It could play out, especially after a bottom wick like that, break of the highs, to keep pushing up. It could play out, but it's like you don't feel that same level of conviction. You know, and normally when it's like this for me, I just stay out the market. I stay out the market until I gain my like conviction back. It's not even confidence, it's conviction. Because, you know, you just got to trust the market. You know, when you take a trade and markets have been pulling down like this, you see, you don't have a lot of trust for the market then. Wish you could stay away itchy fingers. Yeah, you got to like control those itchy fingers. You know, I always used to be told when I was younger, whenever I used to get like itchy fingers, it means that I was going to get money. I think for some other people, they get told like there's a big bill coming if they get itchy fingers. But man, one place you don't want to get itchy fingers here is trading, because itchy fingers and trading, you're not gonna get money. I mean, you might now because it's pushing up, but you know what I mean. You do not want to have itchy fingers in trading. 1 minute is a wick festival. I wouldn't take it. Let's see. Oh man, yeah, look at this wick festival. That seems to be a worldwide myth. To be fair, I never got money every time I got itchy fingers. That's just a thing. I always got money when I didn't expect to get money. Wow, man, look at those itchy fingers go. Look at those itchy fingers go. Finally broke out of the 1 minute consolidation wick festival here. That's a little breaky with volume. I wish we could get a buy like that today. Such a nice buy here. It pulled down initial drawdown for a bit. Let's see from this wick. Yeah, I got some initial drawdown, but I continue to move up there. Did we have anything break clean? This one broke clean. But it did about like 13 pips before it pulled back aggressively though. But it did break clean. It did break clean. Would not have hit TP at 16 pips though. Even at 16 pips, so with a tight stop loss, it still would have pulled back up. This one here kind of broke clean. A tricky one to catch, but that one broke clean. I think that's the only one that broke clean today since we started stream. Consolidation blade, that one, and this one didn't break clean. This one, it kind of hovered in entry for a bit. But you know, you can always look back at your trades and say, okay, you still got one potential here, 2, 3. Looking for sells. Also didn't trigger. Oh, but this one was buys. Yeah, that one triggered the buys. These other ones triggered sells. That one sell, that one sell. One buy over here for me. Yeah, but anyway, I'm going to call it a session over here. Let's see how the rest of the week unfolds. And hopefully we start getting some cleaner PA. Watch out for ADP today. Yeah, but besides from that, watch out for these wicks. And I will see you tomorrow. London session open. Adios, everybody.
No time for this slip, homie. Now we bout to dip.